think it's underpowered. For the price, it is worth it. 2 batteries with this one. That's the best one I got. What's up, everyone? This is Joe Sorrentino, New England RC, and today I'm going to be talking about the Traxxas Mini Max being the newest in my collection and also the most controversial right now because a lot of people are saying that it's not that good and they're trying to decide if the price is worth it and can it be justified when comparing it to some other vehicles in similar sizes. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about that today, and hopefully this will help you guys decide a little bit more when you're trying to make that decision on what's the best bang for your buck. All right, that said, let's get. I've added price tags to each of these in my collection so that I don't make a mistake. So up first, we have the Axial SCX24. That retails for around $119. This is just a crawler, folks. So if you're looking for a basher or a racer, this is not the vehicle for you. But if you are looking specifically for crawling and you want something for small indoor action like I have here, it's kind of a mess right now, but a little crawler course here that you can build indoors, this is kind of ideal for that type of situation. You can use it outdoors, of course, too, but I think that most people buy it for indoor purposes, as I've done here. Next up, we have the legendary Triton, mainly used for indoors, although I happen to have a track in my backyard that I built, and I found that for such a small vehicle, it actually works quite well on my outdoor track. It is top heavy and it does flip over a lot when it goes over large jumps. However, it's a brushless motor. It's very fast. It actually handles pretty good on jumps too. If you're careful with the trigger, you can line it up and not flip it. And I found this thing to be surprisingly capable for such a small vehicle, and it's such a low price tag, you really can't beat that price. Next up, again with a crawler, let's say you want something a little bit bigger than SCX24. I myself tend to prefer them a little larger. This is a 1/18th scale size vehicle, the FJ Cruiser. This is selling for $139.99. You can find these on Amazon or A-Main Hobbies or local hobby shops. Hobby Quarters has them. This one you'll find on Amazon or eBay. I'll try to mention that as we go along too, where you can find these as we go. Now this one here is made by WLtoys. It's called the Headphones, but the real name is the A959B, and it sells for $109.99. It's a 1/18th scale. It's one of the smaller buggies that I have. If you're looking for something inexpensive, I do like it. It's got metal shocks on there, double wishbone suspension, also has a plastic chassis, so it can absorb a bounce pretty well. It's lightweight and it's very capable, so it's great for an outdoor track such as mine, so that's why I have that. Next up is the Arma Granite Grom, the OG of the Arma Grom series. This one here retails for $129.99, and it is a 1/18th scale vehicle. I gotta say, guys, for the price, it is worth it. It's not the most powerful. It is a brushed motor. However, it's very capable, and it works very well in rough conditions. I've driven this through grass, no problem. A little bit of snow, but it won't handle snow all that well. But it is going to be great for inside, outside. If you want something that can take a beating and at a low price range, it really is something you can't beat for the money. Arma right now is killing it in the marketplace, making really tough basher vehicles at a low price. This one here starts at the $129 range. Then they had the Triton that came in at $139, followed by the Mojave at $149.99. And all three of those vehicles have been fantastic. I really love what Arma is doing right now. And best of all, you can find parts from a trusted company that's been around for years. Arma is probably top of the line as far as I'm concerned when it comes to something for versatility, finding parts, best bang for your buck. You really can't beat Arma's products. Next up, for $160, it is a slightly larger vehicle than the Granite Grom there. For $160, you can get the Losi Mini JRX2. Also very low in power. It is a brushed motor system, but it's a great buggy, perfect for kids who want to hold the trigger down full throttle. This thing is not going to fly on you because it doesn't have a lot of power. But at the same time, it's perfectly balanced with the oil-filled shocks. So when it does do a jump on an outdoor backyard track such as mine, it tends to land right and does not topple over. Unlike some of these other ones that are top heavy that can tend to flip over, this one one almost always lands right. So that's why I like the buggies when you're racing. Very great vehicle at a very great price. Losi, another top leader in products. They always have parts available, so you know you can find them. It does only come with one battery, as well as the Arma and these other ones that I've mentioned before. Keep that in mind. If you do want to have a second one on hand, you'll have to buy one extra. But for a great price, this is a good vehicle. Look out for sales on this one, because there's been a couple times that I've seen it this year where they were doing like a buy one, get one free, or they had it priced down at about $100, nearly half the price. So at $100, it's a steal. Or if you can buy one, get one, the same deal. I strongly recommend it. Look for the deal before you go out and buy one of these. But I will say it is totally worth the money if you do decide to go that route. And then up here is the Jetwood. This is actually made by MJX, as well as this one here. These are both MJX products, but for some reason, this is going under the Jetwood name. Both Hypergos. I'm not exactly sure what's going on there with the branding and why there's two names, but nevertheless, for $139.99, this vehicle is fantastic. Very fast. I mean, one of the fastest I have. And it's only a 2S battery, which really boggles my mind for a vehicle as fast as this is. Best of all, the system that it has on it is already set up for a 3S battery. So if you did decide you wanted to make this even faster, and you really don't need to because it's fast enough as it is, but if you did, you simply need to just buy a 3S battery and put it in the vehicle and it will go. Other vehicles, you might need to upgrade other components like the Mini Max, any other vehicles here. If you wanted to make them 3S compliant, you would have to update the ESC as well, and maybe some other parts too. This here, you don't. Just put a battery in, you're ready to go. $139.99. It flies on 2S. It's super durable. It's got metal shocks. It's got a plastic chassis to absorb impact. It does come with these fun little decals on the bottom that you can put there as well. It has metal bumpers on both sides, a wheelie bar. Fantastic vehicle for the price. You really can't beat this. It's almost a steal at $139.99. And it comes with extra accessories as well. So you really get a lot for your money. MJX doing a great job. Not sure how easy it is to get parts, though. That's the only downside, is that it may be a little harder to find parts with this company than something that is more well-known like Arma or Losi or Traxxas, which are the most common when it comes to finding parts for your vehicles. Next up, $109.99. This is a 14th scale. This is the 144001 made from WLtoys. This has been one of the hottest items for a long time because this thing is a brushed motor system, but I'm telling you guys, just like I found with the MJX, this thing performs like it has a brushless motor. That one actually does have a brushless motor. This one does not, and it performs like it does. It is so fast and so powerful, and I just can't believe it, honestly. It's amazing. For $109.99, you can get 2 batteries with this one, which is a great deal. It's got metal oil-filled shocks. This one has a metal chassis, though, so keep that in mind. Might be a little bit of a concern when you're jumping it because of there's no flex here. So this something, it's durable, but if it bends, you're in trouble. So that's why some people prefer plastic over metal. But nevertheless, it's still very durable. And it does take a beating. I've raced this quite a bit on my track. I've had kids use it going full throttle, and this thing is still operational. So that says a lot about it. Really great price, really great vehicle. Strongly recommend the 144001 from WLtoys at $109.99. You can find those on Amazon. And currently my favorite in the series is this MJX Hypergo, which is got the 3S battery. Sells for $199. This came with 2 batteries. It comes with paddle wheels and a whole bunch of other extra accessories. It's got a bumper in the front with lights on it, which is awesome. And it also has a bumper on the back along with a wheelie bar. It actually has a metal chassis, though, so that's the one thing that concerns me. But so far, it hasn't bent on me, so I'm not too worried about it. And other metal components, as you can see here. Double wishbone suspension, big bulky wheels. I would say this is basically a mini Arma Triton. Just to show you what I mean, this is an Arma Triton, 1/6 scale. Obviously towers over it and at a massive price difference. But just so you can see how similar it looks, I just wanted to show them side by side. Right now, if you're looking for a small scale vehicle with all the accessories that that you get, the extra battery, the lights, and everything else it comes with. Unbelievable deal for $199. My favorite in the small line collection here. Can't beat the price. I really love my MJX Hypergo 3S. This is the E204BM. Probably the best one I got. Similar in size. This is the 16th scale Hypergo. This is the 1/14th scale. So it's a little bit bigger, $60 more if you're comparing these two here. For the $60 extra, you get the extra battery. You get the lights. This one does not come with lights. You get all the extra paddle tires. They both come with 2 bodies, but it is a bigger and faster vehicle. This one is 3S capable, comes with 2 2S batteries. This one is a 3S that comes with 2 3S batteries. So really, you're getting everything you could ask for. The most powerful car in the small range at the best possible price. And a final thought on these 2 vehicles, if you're thinking about buying either of them, the remote controls that it comes with are set up so that you can go either 70% or 100% on the throttle rate. So if you are putting this in the hands of a small child and you're worried that it's going to be too fast and hard to control for them, you can slow it down for them with just the push of a button. It's definitely worth the money. In both of these situations, I really like them a lot. This one being the superior choice, though, out of the 2. If you're looking for something in between bashing and crawling, but you don't want to go out of control and destroy it with a basher, this here is a rock racer. So it races over rocks, but it doesn't crawl over rocks, meaning that you're not going to get flex like you would on an RC vehicle such as this one. As you can see, this here has a lot of suspension going on left and right. Just to show you some of the differences of a rock racer versus a rock crawler, I've got this upside down so you can see this is my FJ Cruiser here. These operate on a 4-link suspension system, which gives it that flex appeal that you get from crawling. So that way you can go a little bit higher on one side or another. And that's good for crawling because it's going to be uneven terrain and you're going to be bumping over and crawling over difficult obstacles. That's the whole idea behind a crawler system versus something that's just a straight up basher. This here is a rock racer. It's not a basher. You're not going to have all the durability that you would from a basher like pretty much all of these are. This here is more just meant for just going really fast over rocks and difficult obstacles, but you're not going to get the same versatility you would from a regular crawler because it's going to go faster. I guess you could say it's the best of both worlds, but it's also the worst of both worlds because you can't really bash it hard. They don't have a lot of replacement parts that I'm aware of for this vehicle. If the belt goes, I think you're in trouble. I don't know if you can get replacement belts. Maybe you can, but I think it's going to be a lot harder to find parts for this than it would for these bashers that are intended to break so you can upgrade the parts. This is a little bit different. That said, this is still very fun, and I do enjoy it. It has lights on the bumper here. The bumper is very sturdy. It does have only 1 bumper though, nothing on the back, but it does have lights on the back and in the front. You can also pour liquid in here and make the thing smoke out the taillights, which is a cool effect when you're playing with it indoors. The thing can spin around, do 360s like crazy. Also, the wings come up like this, so you can put like little toy action figures in there. So it's really geared for kids, but it also can be fun for adults who just want to kind of tool around in the backyard or indoors with their pets. Like I like to chase my cat Simon around with it sometimes. So, for $80, you can't expect much. It is kind of a fun alternative to the bashing and crawling. So it's your in-between vehicle there. And now we get into the Mini Max, $269.99. It does have the plastic chassis, so it's going to absorb the flex. It does have nice big bumpers in the front and back. You do get some nice belted tires. These are the Sledgehammer tires, which are really nice and grippy, which is great for handling rough terrain like grass and whatnot. I do like this clipless body system, which makes it so much easier to pull this on and off. You're not struggling with pins. Most of these vehicles, with the exception of my Arma Granite there, do require pins and can be a little bit of a pain when you're pulling the body on off, and it can be time consuming. This is just easy. 4 pull-off buttons on each side, take it off, and then pop it back on, and you're ready to go. So there are some benefits to this vehicle. It looks cool. It's got a great size at the 1/12 size, and it does have the 1/10 scale system set up in there. So you are ready to upgrade it when you need to. Thing is about this, though, when you're comparing price differences, where I start to think that it gets overpriced, though, for $269.99, yes, it's a brushless system, but it's only a 2S power. So I think it's underpowered for the price. If they wanted to price this at $269.99, I think it should have been a 3S system. Or if you wanted to do a 2S, I think then maybe you should have brought the price down to around $200. Because honestly, for $200, I'm getting a 3S system here, which is a great basher with extra parts, extra batteries, everything you could ask for at such a lower price. The only difference is I don't know how easy it is to get parts for that. That might take a little longer to find parts for the MJX. Traxxas, I know, is a quality name. You're going to find parts easier for this one than you would for that. I still recommend it, especially if you're purchasing this for a younger person. This is perfect for anybody that's new to RCing, because if you're holding the throttle full blast, this thing is less likely to get destroyed because it's only 2S power. If it were a 3S system and you're holding it like this, there's a better chance of you causing harm and destruction to this vehicle. But you know, most people are going to be buying this for their child because it's a high-end hobby-grade truck, which is intended for smaller audiences. And it is set up to become a 3S system if you want to, but you're going to have to do some other things, not just upgrade the battery, probably $100 for the battery alone, but then on top of it, the diffs that are on there now are set up for the 2S system. But if you want to do this in 3S, chances are you're going to be blowing diffs too. So now you're talking new diffs, new ESC, and a new battery. Before you know it, you're getting up to about $500 for a small vehicle that you had to upgrade to get it up to a faster car. Whereas you could go with this car here for $200. You don't have to do a thing to change it. You're already at a 3S, and this thing is unbelievable right out of the box on its own. That's the part that makes it hard for me to justify the price difference. But that said, if you're not planning to upgrade it and you like it just as it is, and you're planning to use it with a small child, this is fine. You know, maybe you can justify the price. Maybe the $70 extra that you pay versus getting this one is worth it in just the parts alone, because you can find them easier. You can change out the bodies on this. If you don't like the color, you can buy a blue, green, or a black one. They have different color choices. There's a lot of versatility there. And, you know, those are kind of the things you got to weigh out when you're making your decision on buying a vehicle such as this one. And then finally, if you are looking for the ultimate hobby grade vehicle, at least from my collection here, this is the very first vehicle I ever bought. It's the Rustler 4x4 VXL from Traxxas. Retails at $399.99. It is very expensive in comparison to what I've shown you guys here. The most expensive, but it is the biggest, baddest boy in this chain of lineup here. If you're buying something that you just want to start and go, you may want to consider some of these other vehicles. Keep in mind the size differences. Where is it going? Is this going in the house? Probably not going to want this one. If you're putting it in the house, that size is okay. And then you got something for indoor and outdoor. So keep those things in mind. Price, where it's going, how you intend to use it, who's using it. Is it for you, or is this going to a small child? All those things you got to consider when making your choice. So there you have it, guys. I hope that breaks it down for you. I really tried to demonstrate the differences on all these different makes and models based on what you're getting for the money that you're spending. And I hope that when you're making your choice in purchasing your very first RC car, or if you're buying this for a young person, just to keep those things in mind, what your intentions are and who it's going to. All those things can make a difference on whether or not one vehicle versus another will be the right one for you. These things are not indestructible. They all break in some way. There's no perfect RC vehicle. You got to also remember that too. It may be as far as 5 minutes, or it could be a day, or maybe even a week or a month before something breaks. But at some point, something on that car is going to break, and then it's up to you to figure out how to fix it. So keep that in mind too when you're making your purchases. All right, I hope this helps you guys out. If you guys enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more, please consider subscribing to my channel. My name's Joe Sorrentino. This is New England RC. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.